People normally associate the city of Hull with fishing and fairies. We have seen the biggest teams of football play here, and the biggest names of music play gigs here. However, as a city this big, its filming industry is quite small. In this documentary, I'll be showing you that Hull's film industry has grown quite a bit over the past 10 years, with interviews with Espen from Hull's Film Festival and the media company Eon, who do films for other singular companies.
A few minutes away from Hull city centre in Old Town, there is the headquarters of Hull Film Festival. It is run by one man operating all of the software and answering and reading all of the emails. Espen, how was Hull Film started?
It was started by a woman called Catherine who was really into film and didn't think Hull had enough going on film-wise. So she got a bunch of us together and said, can we do something about this? And started organising screenings.
What's your opinion on Hull's film industry?
Is there one? I don't know. I mean, there are plenty of filmmakers, but they seem to be hiding, or they don't come out always. There's a few people who've been through the university. There are a couple of private or sort of individual companies, like Small Suitcase and Moving and Still, and a couple of other ones that kind of do stuff. Class Lane Media do a bit of stuff as well, but it's kind of commercial. So I'd like to see it more active and more kind of pushing themselves out there and getting stuff seen. But it seems that it's kind of people like me and HUUTV at the university that kind of actively drag films out of the people in Hull. I get more films from like Iran than I get from Hull. When I do call for submissions, it's a strange thing. I don't know why, but that's just the way it is. So.
Thank you for your time.
Pleasure. Good luck.
Just down a side street in one of the busiest roads in the city lies the filming company of Eon Media. They made films before based on bullying on school buses and filmed the city's football team home matches. They also have started to develop apps for the iPod. What sort of camera equipment do you use in shots?
We have an XD Cam HD, which we take out on most of our shoots. That's sort of our main camera. We've just invested in a lot more kit, we already have a Canon 550D, which tends to be our second camera for sort of smaller sort of interviews and that sort of thing, just for an alternative angle.
And what sort of editing software do you use?
We use for editing. We purely use Final Cut Pro. We invested in that kit probably about 4 years ago now, maybe a little bit longer. We were on Avid prior to that. But now everything goes through Final Cut Pro.
As we move out the city into a more rural area, into Wilberforce College, where we will meet the director of the very first full-length feature film shot entirely in Hull, Ian Burnett. Hello Ian, did you enjoy creating the first feature film that was entirely shot in Hull?
I did actually, yeah. It was a lot of fun. It took a lot of time to complete. It took nearly 2 years, so it was a very long-winded process. I don't know if I can claim to be the first filmmaker to make an entire film in Hull, but as far as I know, it's true. And it was a really fun process. It was very, very time-consuming. Like I've said, it took 2 years, and it was a lot of hard work. But it was fun and rewarding when we showed it to the people who was involved in it.
Where do you look for your actors and actresses?
To find actors and actresses for amateur films is not really very easy, because a lot of people who consider themselves actors and actresses usually demand some sort of payment and they're part of a union. I can't remember what the union's called, but basically a lot of them want to be paid. Now, if you haven't got any money to pay anyone, you have to go down the amateur route, and I use a website called Star Now. And on Star Now you've got like a bank of actors in regional areas, so you can type in Hull and it'll bring up all the people registered on there from Hull. Now, a lot of them are professionals, but if they see your work and they see something interested in it, they'll sometimes do it for free just for their showreel. But I use Star Now, and I also use a lot of my family and friends, and it's mainly my family and friends really. So a lot of my films have got amateur performances, but it makes life easy for me because I know the people and it makes it a fun process. But one day if I got the actual funding for a film, I'd be more ruthless and I'd actually cast actors and get rid of my family and friends for major parts, but I still get them in there for big parts because obviously it's nice to work with your friends, isn't it?
As you can see, that there's still a lot of filmmakers in Hull that are just starting out. However, after they finish their education, they tend to move out of the city to find a better place to film, which is kind of sad, as the city loses the recognition that it deserves.